Hi, it's Danielle. This is my perfume journal where I document my love of perfume. So today I have a short little video where I just want to share a few thoughts that have been swirling around in my head about perfume collecting. So on my channel, I have a monthly series called Perfume Collecting for Regular People, where I talk about how I have managed to remain a very staunch, tried and true perfume enthusiast for the last 40 plus years on a pretty moderate budget that works for me. Even today, where I'm in a little bit more of a financially secure place than I was 25 years ago, I still keep my perfume budget to a total of $150 a month. Now, I recognize that that is a significant amount of money to many people. It was at one time a very significant amount of money to me as well. So having $150 a month of quote fun money is a privilege that I recognize and do not take for granted. But in the grand scheme of being a perfume hobbyist or perfume collector, $150 a month doesn't go a very long way. And that's why I've really stressed on my channel that you can be a hardcore perfume collector and perfume lover without a ton of money and without going into any financial debt whatsoever. So I think about perfume like way too much, way too much, as one does when one is like intensely interested in and invested in a particular topic. I read a lot of reviews. I look at pictures of perfumes on Instagram and I watch a lot of perfume content. I pretty much don't watch any television anymore, and I completely stopped doom scrolling. So much of what I consume is perfume content, travel content, wholesome, feel good content, things that uplift and inspire me rather than things that bring me down. Anyway, I used to love to read perfume blogs, and I would pore over sites like Raiders of the Lost Scent. That is the go-to resource for vintage lovers. And so I would basically be like devouring everything I could find about perfume. And when I first started watching perfume videos, it was mostly like people just talking about perfumes that they were sampling or trying. A lot of them just had like really modest collections, and they just started their YouTube channels to like chatter on about perfumes. I loved Katie Puckrick's channel. Her perfume descriptions were like fun and funny and witty and charming, and sometimes I even go back and rewatch them over and over again. Instagram was kind of like filled with blurry pictures that people took in their bedrooms, and they wrote heartfelt captions about how a perfume felt or a memory it evoked, or a reaction it inspired. And so everything felt pretty relatable. Social media, Fragcom, kind of felt like a really fun book club for perfume lovers. And then somewhere along the line, like definitely after the pandemic, when we were all like, hey, let me fill the void that is lacking from human interaction by buying a bunch of stuff, the fragrant social media space kind of shifted. So now in the background of all these videos and photos, you would see these like ginormous shelving displays lined up with bottle after bottle after bottle, like whole collections of brands, sometimes just like hundreds of bottles lined up behind the person talking. And that person is now what we would refer to as an influencer. And I think that that shifted the mindset of Fragcom, like regular people too. Social media dopamine for a hobbyist collector, it can be good, it can be bad. And in my view, what I saw happening was bad. I clung to, and I still cling to, the creators, the channels, and the accounts that feel real, that feel authentic to me, the people who talk about perfume because they love perfume, even if it's their side hustle. I think that's cool. The genuine authenticity you feel is there. But with that said, I have to say, I am not the perfume police. I think everybody should do perfume in the way that makes them happy. You want 400 plus bottles all lined up neatly on a beautiful shelf display? I will cheer you on. You will never run out of choices or options. And please invite me over for a sniffing party. You want just a collection of 4 or 5 perfumes to rotate through each season, maybe have one for special occasions? That sounds wonderful to me too. It means that your collection was like carefully chosen and you have a small handful of perfumes that are special or serviceable to you, or maybe both. And so having one perfume or 1,000 perfumes does not make anyone any less or any more of a perfume enthusiast or a perfume expert. So as for me, I put myself somewhere in between. I have had 2 perfumes in my collection and I have had 200. And as I am getting ready to embark on a pretty big life change and a huge downsize, my perfume collection is about to be ruthlessly culled back. And I mean big time. After we sell our home, we plan to take as little as possible to our next destination. But I do know myself, and I know that the siren song of new fragrances will call to me and I will answer. And so for that, I will turn to the travel size and the decant. Here is a little ode to travel sizes and decants. Travel sizes, they are a wonder. I love them. Because they are brand manufactured, they can be as beautifully designed as a full-size bottle. Take the Donna Born and Roma travels. They are lovely. They reflect that like spiky textured bottle from the Donna Born and Roma collection. The Glossier U travel sizes include their little signature thumbprint impression. Kayali makes beautiful travels and minis. They have like ombre pen sprays and the little minis that look like they're full-size bottles, but they like went through the dryer. Travel of Mon Paris from YSL comes with the little bow, and Jean Paul Gaultier's travels are so totally Jean Paul Gaultier. And then you have independent perfumers. They often offer travel sizes, like 10 and 15 ml bottles are not uncommon in the indie and artisan perfume space, which I think is wonderful. I have purchased travel sizes from indie and artisan brands like Perfat, Darren Allen, Zernell Gilly, Wit& West, and lucky me, I won a travel size from the independent brand Voyage Imaginaire, which I would have gladly purchased because their perfumes are of exquisite quality. So I really love having the ability to support a small business at a price point that works for me and being able to add some really unique artistic perfumes to my collection that way. Are travel sizes a good value? No, absolutely not. But think about this for a second. This is a $175 bottle of perfume that I bought because I absolutely love it. And I have had it for over a year. It is ultra strong, and so I only put on like a spray or two when I wear it. Look how much I've actually used in a year, less than 5 mils. If this came in a travel size, I might have spent maybe like $50 on this, and I would have used a quarter of it in that year's time. So while the price per mil in a travel size is vastly more, that would have been $125 still in my pocket for the same exact amount of perfume that I have used up so far. Would I have this beautiful bottle on my shelf? No, but is the pretty bottle worth that much more really? For me, that answer is no. I would much rather have a smaller amount of perfume that I'm only going to use sparingly than a big bottle that is essentially like an art piece sitting on my shelf. Now, this is a travel size of a perfume that I have worn at least 10 times so far. So I love this scent, and if it runs out, I could definitely justify a larger bottle. So travels and decants for me are also such a good way of really deciding if a perfume is worth upgrading to. And speaking of decants, decants are wonderful. Like travels, they're not the best value, but they have similar merits and unique merits. Like, for one, the sizes that they come in. 5 ml and 10 ml decants are my preference. They're a little pricier than your standard travel size perfume, but you have a much wider range of options to choose from. You can find customized sizes on places like Scent Split or Scent Angel, or standard size decant twisties that I love from places like Fragrance Net at a really, really good price. And of course, you can throw a travel or a decant in your bag or a purse or a pocket for the day, which is much harder to do with bottles like these. Like, imagine if I pulled out Jungle Elephant in the middle of the day to re-up my perfume application. That's not happening. This perfume bottle weighs a ton, but a little decant, yes ma'am, give me that opening spritz again. I love that. Sure, I can make my own decants from bottles, but again, look at this bottle of Jungle Elephant. It's so strong that I've barely made a dent. A decant of this would have been just fine. So I guess this was on my mind. And I was thinking about it because I want to be a reminder that it is okay if you don't have 200, 400, 600 bottles, or even 20 bottles. The number of bottles does not a perfume lover make. Looking at perfume collections on social media is a lot like reading a magazine. You have to remember that a lot of what you see is actually airbrushed. You don't have to keep up with what you see online to have a beautiful, meaningful collection, a personal collection that works for you. We can enjoy our perfumes in so many ways. Bottles are wonderful and beautiful, and I myself love admiring all the pretty bottles in my cabinet. And I would love to be able to buy any old bottle and every bottle that catches my eye, but that is not possible, and that is okay. Sometimes a decant will do. So thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your time here with me, for listening to the ever swirling thoughts in my head about perfume. And thanks for chatting with me in the comments. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.